Excellent. Thank you very much, Bernadette. I hope you can all hear me as well. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do today is maybe offer a bit of a link connection with what we did last week. So, whoever was here last week, but if you were not here, it's not a problem at all. So, what we did last week, so if you remember in the first practice, what we did is we came into the body. So, we tried to sort of take the attention from whatever is coming in from from what we hear and what we see every day in the news, and too much going on around us. And so we decided to just go in the body and feel the silence and the quietness we have in the body. So we did that practice as a way to help us just withdraw the attention from too much information and there's too much going on around us, and then find a space within the body that we can sit there and relax, if you like, and feel better. So what we're doing today, and then of course we did the connection where Bernadette was leading the meditation about how we can connect even if we're not physically together with people we love. So what we're going to do today has a bit of a similar pattern, but we're using different practices. So what I'm doing in my part of the practice today is, now that we sort of all, like practitioners as we are, know how to get into the body, we can go a step further. So what we're doing today is we're developing what we call presence. Yeah. So it's not only that we're going within, as we normally do with meditation, but we use practices to develop that presence of calmness. With this way, we can help anyone we come in contact with. Yeah. So if we develop this presence within us, this groundingness, as we say, through these practices, then we're in a much better position to help ourselves and help others. So in this first practice, that's what we're going to do. Of course, you don't need to remember any of that. I'm going to lead you through it. And then I'm going to give pass the microphone to Bernadette, and then she's going to help you and me to work with difficult feelings. And now that we will be connected with the body, we can sort of see how the difficult feelings might be popping up. And then we can see how we can deal with them, and then how we can use appreciation of what we have in order to develop equanimity about the situation that we're going in, which is not the best, of course. It's far from being a good experience. So as I normally say, you don't have to remember the theory of whatever we are talking about. What I want you to do is bring all your attention to my leading and take a position that is the most comfortable for you. And I'm just gonna very slowly ring my bell. And when you are ready, you can close your eyes. And we're just gonna go into our practice and just completely give up any effort to think, decide, or control anything that is going on. So I'll ring my bell. This is the time we all take to close our eyes slowly. And we're slowly tuning into the body as we always do at the beginning. So the way we're coming into our body now is through the movement of the body. So we choose to feel how the shoulders, for example, going up and down. Just feeling how the chest is gradually moving. And we're tuning into this sensation of movement in the body. We recognize that the breath is always there. So out of choice, we decide to feel the breath. to connect with the breath. So while the movement is more obvious in the chest and the shoulders, maybe, we can also feel it in the belly if we pay close attention to that. Because there's movement there as well. If we are more careful, we realize there's also movement in the back. So our back is moving back and forth because of the breath. And we just recognize that. So we slowly extend the attention to the legs. We feel even the legs are moving slowly. Just because of the breath. Same with the hands, and even the head, the face. So we make no effort to control the movement. We make no effort to control the breath. We're just letting the movement be, and we observe it. We don't want to breathe deeper or differently or be more relaxed, none of that. We just observe the movement of the body. This expansion and contraction that is always there, and we usually ignore. This is the time that we pay attention to that. A bit longer like that. Just feeling the breath. We can feel it on the surface level, around the body, skin level. Just feeling how our figure moves, changes slightly, becomes a bit bigger and a bit smaller. Just as the breath comes in and out. We can look at the body like from outside, like somebody is watching us. And as we look completely still, we also move because of the breath. We pay attention to both. The stillness of our position and the movement that is constantly there. We can now choose to internalize the experience of the breath by feeling the breath in the nostrils. Feeling the breath going through the nose, the air rather. Stay around that area for a minute. Observe any effort to control the breath, and if it's there, just let it go. And let the breath come in and out naturally. Trust the breath to find its own balance. We mindfully observe the breath further in now, going from the nose to the throat. Just feeling the air going down. Feeling the air inside the chest, inside the lungs. Observe the movement, but this time from inside out. Observe the quality of the breath. See if the breath is deep or shallow. It feels restrictive or it feels free and relaxed. And we observe without having the intention to change it. We just observe. A bit further down, we're feeling the breath inside the belly, inside the stomach, the whole of the abdomen. And we create this sensation of calmness and movement in the core of the body, in between the torso. And we just stay there with awareness. So we can let go completely just by observing whatever is happening inside the body. If we feel there is any part of the body that is stiff or we're holding it, we just let it go completely. We just let the gravity take us down. And we stay there for a bit longer. Nowhere else to go. Now we are so well connected with our body and the sensations inside the body. We're going to start working and creating the presence that can help us get through the day. And we start by, the week's coming. And we start by feeling the vibrance of the body. So this is our first step. So we pay attention to anything that is alive in the body. We feel the blood circulation. We feel any tingling sensations. We feel the heat of the body. We feel the parts of the body that are cold. We feel how the clothes are touching our skin. Feel the breath. We're just bringing out, making ourselves aware of whatever is alive. Even a small movement of the eyes, a scratch somewhere. All of these things show how the body is alive. And we choose to pay attention to all of those things. How do we know we're alive? What are the sensations of aliveness? And we watch them with curiosity, with interest. Any body sensation is the manifestation of this aliveness. Even unpleasant sensations, like tension, like a scratch, feeling like we want to scratch. Anything goes. And we observe them. Just a bit longer like that. If we stay a bit longer in silence, we actually see the body is buzzing. There's so much going on. Inside the belly, inside the heart. Just observe this busyness of the body. There's digestion, there is movement, there is breathing. There's so much going on inside the body, outside the body. And reminds us that we're alive. We can even have this feeling of vibrantness, this feeling of aliveness. This feeling that there's lots going on. While the body is not even moving, we're completely still, but completely alive. Just a little longer with that sensation. Now we're moving into the next area of aliveness, which is our chest area, the breath we feel there. And we cultivate this warm feeling around the heart, the lungs. That's the area we feel our emotions. So as we bring the attention to this part of the body, we can just let memories or images from whatever is going on around us these days come in. Then we can deliberately develop this compassion for us, for whatever we're going through. Compassion for our friends and family that they're restricted. Compassion for anyone in our community. Compassion for people that are really ill these days in the hospital. The people that help them. And we just let this solidarity, this feeling of everybody's going through a difficult time, to just be there. And we see how these ideas and images affect this part of the body, the chest, the heart, the lungs. This is the center of our emotional world. We just observe what is going on there. We might see restriction, we might see warmth. Whatever is there, we welcome it. So, because we can see the openness of the heart is limitless. So we can actually feel the compassion we have for loved ones. We can feel it for everyone. For everyone who is suffering, which is the whole world at this moment. So we let this feeling expand. This warmth in the heart. This feeling of solidarity with whoever is going through difficulties. So in this way, we feel how the heart is alive. As we saw the body being alive, the same with the heart. And we just observe that. And we stay there a bit longer. This heart opening. And we maybe now move a bit further up to our body. See what's happening in our head. See if there's calmness in the forehead, in the area, maybe inside the brain. See if there's calmness of mind. See if the mind is in turmoil. See if the mind is peaceful. And observe the mind at this moment. See if the mind is active with thoughts, ideas, or if there's a complete peace of mind. And we just observe that. We watch the aliveness of the mind. The aliveness can be very peaceful. It doesn't have to be busy. It can be vibrant and quiet. And that's the body part between the eyebrows, the forehead, the brain itself. Peace of mind can be cultivated, and it's our choice to connect with the body, connect with the heart, so the mind also joins the peaceful presence that is possible. We finish our travel in the body by going to the top of the head, the middle of the top of the head. We feel any sensations up there. Anything that might be happening there or not. And from there, we just distribute and let the awareness go down the body. From the top of the head, throughout the body, with no direction, No specific location, just completely free awareness. Just sitting in awareness. Awareness of the body, awareness of the heart, awareness of the mind. We just feel like we can swim into that, this awareness, this observation that can give us a feeling of lightness in the body. We don't feel heavy anymore. We can feel like we're floating into this awareness, this observation. And we enjoy that. We just observe it as a sensation. We stay with it. We enjoy the freedom of having the attention go wherever the attention wants to go. And we sit there watching it. Just sitting. We actually can feel the presence buzzing around our body, inside, outside. We have a fully aware, fully alive presence. And as we're observing it now, we can put the idea or the wish that we can take it with us in the rest of the day, the rest of the week. We can walk around, talk to people by keeping this aliveness alive. So with this idea and this wishful thinking, we can slowly and gradually bring the attention to the end, to our practice, to the end. By feeling again the breath inside the nostrils, feeling the breath inside the chest, coming closer to the body. And this is the time where we can also give the body the freedom to move if we want to. And in a minute, I'm going to ring my bell. And whenever we're ready, we take our time. We can slowly open our eyes to join the rest of us in the group. Take your time. So what we did last time, whoa, we are 39 people. That's good. What we did last time, we asked people if they have any comments or any questions about this specific practice. Is that right, Bernadette? We can take it now, yeah?
And Natasha will be able to give you some answers and feedback.
Thank you, Katerina. And I'll see you soon. So, as the questions might be coming, I'll just give a couple of explanations. As I said at the beginning, this practice is about bringing this presence And we can see it in people, like they are very centered and they have this aliveness in them. So the aliveness doesn't mean busyness, yeah? And so the aliveness is not busyness. So we can be calm, but also alive. So this gives us this presence, yeah? So the people that they are active, they're always there, they're listening, they're talking, but they're not necessarily, busy and not centered. So with this kind of practices, we develop this awareness of what's going on, and that gives us this presence of calmness, but also aliveness. Yeah. So Hannah says it was lovely and very relaxing. It was good to reframe some physical discomfort as being alive. Excellent. Exactly. So whatever is happening in the body, we can see it as a way the body says, thanks, Georgia. That we're alive, that we're here. Aliveness doesn't mean always relaxed and pleasant feelings. All feelings are welcome. Yeah. So we don't discriminate of what we feel.
Can everybody hear now okay? I think most people have said it's much better, but still not great. So we'll just try. Okay, perfect. So yes, so essentially what I was saying is that mindfulness helps bring awareness and attention to the present moment. But what it also allows us to do, we have practices where we can cultivate things like compassion for others, but also positive emotions such as gratitude and sympathetic joy as well. So what we're going to do in the next meditation, we're going to do some sound work at the start, and then we're going to have a guided meditation to cultivate some self-compassion because of the challenging time that we're experiencing right now. I think that we need to really pay attention to our own stress and discomfort in this challenging time. And self-compassion is a really powerful tool to do that. And then also cultivating the feeling of gratitude as well, because it can be challenging because the mind has the negativity bias. So often we are looking at the things that are going wrong, and a lot of us may have a lot of challenges and struggles at the moment. They could be financial, you could be losing jobs, it could be a loved one being sick, it could be being worried about being sick. For some people, the challenge is working from home if you have a family as well that you have to look after. So in this challenging time, self-compassion is it's always important, but even more important. So just to say a little bit about self-compassion and how it works, the first step with self-compassion is recognizing those moments of stress and discomfort. So first and foremost, recognizing that we are struggling, and then we can apply self-compassion. And that could be some kind, supportive words to ourselves, because so often we can be very harsh on ourselves. I think we all recognize the inner critic. Self-compassion is the opposite of self-criticism. So it's saying kind, gentle, encouraging words to ourselves in these moments. And often as well, Kristin Neff has done research that placing a hand, soothing touch, because we're all mammals, we all respond to soothing touch as well. Some people might not want to touch their bodies, and that's okay too, but I'm going to give you, in the meditation, I'm going to give you some suggestions of where you can place a hand when you say soothing, kind words to yourselves, but I'll talk you through that. You don't have to remember any of what I'm talking about now. But I want to introduce these practices because they're so powerful, especially in challenging times. So again, what we're going to do is get into our meditation posture. So seating with your feet flat on the ground, you have your hands resting in your laps. We have an active but relaxed spine, so we're bringing intention to our posture. And before we close our eyes, I just want to say that we will do you can either do ohms or humming at the start of this meditation. So whichever you prefer. If you're in a house with several people elsewhere, you might want to just do humming because it's less loud. And when you're humming, I'll just do a demonstration. It's just a very gentle hum. So I'll just do a demonstration now. And for those who've done ohms before and have the luxury of not disturbing anybody, you can do ohms while we do this exercise. So if everybody would like to close their eyes now, and just feeling the body seated on the chair. Feeling supported, with our feet flat on the ground. Just feeling the space that the body is taking up. Now what we're going to do, we're going to either chant 9 ohms or we're going to hum. And I want you to hum at your own breath rate, so don't try and keep up with me if it's uncomfortable for you. I'm going to hum. And before we stop humming, I will say last one, and we will all do either a last om or a last hum together. So when you're ready, we'll begin humming now. Last one. We'll just sit for a moment, observing the breath, the body sensations, the mind. You may notice that the breath has become deeper. Perhaps the heart is pumping stronger. You may notice that the mind has become still. And as we sit here, connected with all our friends on this webinar, we're all connected by this very unusual and challenging time. And each of us are experiencing our own challenges, our own worries. It's very important at this time that we practice compassion for ourselves, loving kindness. So I'm going to invite you now to place your hands on your belly. If you don't feel comfortable placing your hands on your belly, you can just hold your hands a couple of inches away from the belly. So either placing your hands on the belly or hands away from the belly. I just want you to say, or invite you to say, a few kind words to yourself. You may want to use a term of endearment like darling, sweet pea. Perhaps you want to acknowledge that it's a difficult time right now. And while you always want to do your best, sometimes you face difficulties. With your warm, soothing touch, saying some words of encouragement, kindness to yourself. Now we'll move our hands up to the chest and the heart area. So again, if you don't feel comfortable touching, just hold your hands in front of the chest and the heart area. And just notice how that makes you feel. Again, acknowledging the challenges that you might be facing right now. And saying some kind, encouraging words to yourself. Giving yourself some loving kindness and compassion for what you might be going through right now. And now moving the hands up to the neck. So either placing one hand on one side of the neck or hands either side of the neck. And again, if you don't wish to touch, just holding your hands just away from the neck. And again, offering some soothing, kind words. We will get through this. Things will get better. You may wish to say, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be loved, may you be free from suffering. And now we move our hands up to our cheeks. So again, you can either just place one or two hands on one cheek or either side, cupping the face, or holding the hands just away from the face if you don't want to touch. Again, being kind and gentle with yourself. You again may wish to say, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be loved, may you be free from suffering. Now I invite you to return your hands to the place that felt the most comforting for you. And just feeling the warmth of the hand either against the body or just hovering away from the body. Feeling the comfort, feeling the warm, soothing touch. And as we hold our hands here, I invite you to think of one thing that you're really grateful for right now. With all the inconvenience of working from home or the turmoil that this situation presents us with, what can you feel grateful for in this situation? It could be more time with your family, more time to read, more time for yourself. So just thinking of something or someone that you're really grateful for in this moment. And allow this gratitude to fill your heart. Perhaps you notice the smile on your lips as you think about this thing that you're grateful for, or this person. Noticing how this gratitude feels in the body. And now you can just return your hands to your lap. And in a moment, I'm going to ring the bell and you can open your eyes. Okay, so I'll just bring Natasha back. So, would anybody like to share anything or ask any questions about that practice?
We had a thank you from Sophie.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you,
And
Katerina. Thank you, Katerina. Grounding. Thank you, Aminda. Yeah, so it's nice. Can this one be? Yes, exactly. So that's exactly what I was about to say. Thank you, Judy. This is something that you can cultivate every day. Oh, thanks, Aminda. I missed the classes as well in London. Thanks, Santina. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Lovely. I love the OMS. Yeah, humming OMS. Very good for basically bringing you out of the mind into the body. Marie, husband recovering. That's great to hear that your husband's recovering, Marie. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you're feeling so much better as well. That's so beautiful to hear. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, these practices, everything that we're doing is something that we encourage you to practice regularly. And this gratitude or the self-compassion exercises, anytime that you notice stress or discomfort, it really, really can be helpful to use the self-compassion, the gratitude. Richard sent a message saying, I really appreciate this self-love exercise. I never thought about myself in this way. Many people don't, Richard. It's very common. And it's so nice to hear a familiar English accent. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. You're feeling isolated in a foreign country. That's lovely to hear. What great harmony. Thank you, Santina, between the two of us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aminda. Such beautiful words saying we are great
There's
teachers.
one question from Hara.
Oh, yes. In which way?
So how the arms helps?
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah. Yes. So essentially, with the sound, there's a vibrational quality to it. So the arms and the humming, it can really bring about a stillness in the body. Not everybody experiences it, so not going in with expectations. But what happens in my classes when we do this exercise, so it's a bit different doing it remotely, people find that the mind becomes much stiller. And it's a very nice practice to do before you go into meditation. I call it a bit of a cheat, to be honest, because it stills the mind a bit quicker for you.
Yeah.
So that's how, but you may not have, if it's the first time you've done it, you may not have experienced that as well. So no expectation.
I can add to that,
Yes.
if you like.
Yes.
It comes from the yogic tradition, the Om chanting and the humming. And it actually has been proven scientifically that is actually balancing the vibration of all our cells in the body. It actually happens at the physical level, so that's why we feel it so vibrant.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Natasha. Now, before we close, I know it's 8 o'clock, but if you will indulge me, I have a poem that I would really like to read to everybody, which is very apt. So if everybody's happy with that, you can keep your eyes open or closed, but I would just love to share this poem. It was written in 1869 by Kathleen O'Meara, and it's called And People Stayed Home, and it was written after the Irish famine. And people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened deeper. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone danced, someone met their shadow. And people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, even the earth began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found each other, grieved for the dead, and they made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of life and healed the earth completely, just as they were healed themselves. So I find that such a beautiful poem. I will share it in the comments for everybody. And yeah, that's how I would like to close. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Natasha, to close?
No, thank you very much. We just had a comment from Nikki, which I know, she comes to our retreats, and she said that all these practices reminded her of all the good things we have and the appreciation. And from my personal experience going to retreats, this is an overwhelming feeling that meditation and these practices bring, is how much we appreciate life and all the things we have. And if I take it a bit further, the research shows that joy comes from appreciation of what we have. So if we want to be joyful, if we want to be happy at the end of the day, we need to appreciate what we have. Wanting to have something more or something better is a good thing as a, as a projection for the future, but it doesn't give us happiness. So it's a simple moral. Just appreciate what we have, and that will give us happiness to go further.
Thank you.
Everyone.
That's so beautiful to end with that. So beautiful to end with that. So guys, we will do another session. Yes. But so grateful.
All of it.
Yeah, so grateful to have everyone here. We will do another session next week. So I will email everybody the link for next week. But thank you for joining us. Stay safe, stay well, and yes, so much love to you all. Thank you.
See you next Friday.
See you next Friday.